Yo, 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 yo. It's Terrell, Hall of Fame, D-Line, TBKC, and all that sweet, beautiful, wonderful shit. Check this out, man. Y'all saw me. Well, maybe you didn't see me. I don't know. I'm jumping the gun, acting like y'all watch all these videos all the time. It's a situation. Couple individuals. I won't say their names on this video just because I'm not trying to get them going in this scenario anymore. If you've been on Facebook, you might know. But a gentleman who breeds XLs. It was some messages put out, some very terrible pictures about possibly one of his dogs attacking his mother and shredding her up pretty bad, destroying her legs, ripping her calf muscle. The pictures are not pretty, and I guess the debate became more so is that by looking at the text messages, which I did, and hearing the different sides of the stories and different things, it sounds as if it's a strong possibility that maybe there was some kind of cover-up. There's an individual who's arguing that there's a cover-up, that this person really didn't want to put the dog down. This person more so wanted to cover it up. It was more worried about having to put the dog down than the stability of the animal, than even maybe the health of his own mother. And keep in mind, I know both of these individuals, so I'm not taking a side. I'm just giving you the story as what it is, And the questions that come to me is, how do I feel about the situation? First and foremost, I will say this. I don't know how to feel about the situation. Because I don't know the truth, The second part of that story is that the person who owns the XL said it was actually a Saint Bernard that attacked his mother. The messages are being sort of cropped and moved around to make it look like it's something else being said. And that same Saint Bernard attacked his dog. I don't know. The messages look one way. He's saying it's one other thing. And it's easier for me to say I don't know than to assume. Because when you assume, you surely can make an ass out of yourself. Now, the one thing I would say is this. Let's say if the situation and the accusations that have come about are true, it's a very dangerous situation. It's a very dangerous situation that it's being alleged that this has happened more than one time. I don't care how much money that you can make in a breed. I don't care how much you have into a breed. I don't care how much you love an animal. Look, if a dog does something that is that atrocious and that hard to deal with in any way, shape, or form, you must put him down. You must put him down. Looking at the pictures, God bless his mother that it was only her legs. When a dog has that kind of intent, that it would just rip and, literally put this woman in the hospital, we have to think, like, well, what happens if possibly that dog hit an artery on this older lady, obviously, and she's bleeding out? What happens if that dog would have actually struck higher and got her in the neck or, to the face or, really seriously hurt this woman? I know a lot of y'all is probably ready to throw something at the screen at me right now. Like, why aren't you being harder? And I'm trying to be diplomatic, but the only thing I can say is you have to put this dog down. I know 99% of y'all would agree with me that if your fucking dog attacked your mother, that you go out back and, let's not act like bitches here. It'd be a couple shots to the back of the head, and that dog would have to go in the hole. We all probably feel that way, and I think but I think on a larger scale, just on dealing with it in a personal level, is that these genetics are in a dog. Dogs that act in that type of way, and that have siblings that act in type of way. Once you see that it's a pattern of behavior in your line, you have to break the line down. You have to sort of say, you know what? If it's this one individual dog and we got one crazy ass in the family, okay, we'll put him down. If we see it happening in more than one dog, we have to reevaluate the whole program. Because I have a couple XLs, and I tell you the one thing about it is it's a different animal. My God, it's a different freaking animal. Let's just put it that way. You know, the drive is different for sure. My XLs, I don't even let them out anymore with the kids or anything because they bowl the kids over. They're not, they're not doing it intentionally, but they're just so. Whew, if something comes at the gate, boom, they're at it. Whereas Mandela will go up there and he's a 100-pound dog. He'll still go, but he's got a different swag about it. He more like I'm on my way. I'm gonna cut you. Where they like and it's different. But the thing that I'll say is, people, the XLs naturally have more drive than American bullies. And if you're dealing with this type of dog, you're talking about 100, 120, some people got them going up to 200 pounds now, which that's a whole nother debate. But it's a massive animal with a lot of capabilities. Those dogs are typically mostly all muscle at that size. And it's a blessing and a curse, and y'all follow what I'm saying. It's a blessing that this man's mother was attacked and it didn't become a big news thing. And keep hearing me what I say. If the story is true as portrayed, because that would be a horrible thing for the American bully community. Horrible. Because y'all see the headlines, man puts, gigantic pit bulls. Y'all know it's not going to be American bully. Man puts gigantic pit bulls with his mother and they damn near kill her. The dog mauled his mother. She was in the hospital. News people can put the words on it. And, so with that, as far as, and I'm very, very sympathetic to his mother, but with us saying, okay, we dodged the bullet that this didn't become a huge issue with his mother, we can't afford for that type of dog to keep reproducing. We can't afford for those genetics to reproduce. And you send these puppies, which are incredible. I've reposted the guy's puppy sometime. He produces beautiful dogs. But if, and the biggest word is if, this temperament is in his dogs, if it's in any of your dogs, if you see this behavior, anything in your yard, you can't try to negotiate this shit. If you are a true dog man and this happens in your yard where one of your dogs attacks a friendly, and I call them friendlies, I call them friendlies. That's what I do in my terms. And y'all excuse me, I'm always damn itching this new fabric softener. But but I call them friendlies, and that means my kids. I don't play that shit. If a dog growls at my kids, you out of here. You ain't got no business growling at the fucking kid. Now, because I train my kids on how to handle dogs. You're not poking the dog in the eye. So if I'm noticing that a dog is having an aggression towards the kid, you out of here. I don't give a fuck if you out in the back. You got to go. Because I'm fixing you and you got to go. You know what I mean? One way or the other. I don't believe in any kind of aggression, especially towards kids, because a dog should have a mentality to where it identifies the weak. I've often told y'all stories about my Rottweiler, but I had one Rottweiler, probably the best Rottweiler I ever produced, Rock. And, sorry, it was Malcolm. Rock was his brother. But Malcolm, it was my godmother's mother, and she was in a wheelchair at the time, and we went over there to visit, and at this time, he was only about 10-week-old puppy, maybe, and the dog was crazy. He would run around, play with his brother, everything else. He went in that house, and he saw that lady in that wheelchair, and he sat down next to her. His sister sat down next to her. Come back hour later, I'm like, you all right, Miss B? Yeah, I'm all right. She just petting the puppy in her chair, and she's petting, and the puppy just laying there, lay down, lay down, lay down. Take him outside, he right back to being an asshole. Crazy, it's crazy, it's crazy, it's crazy. Bring them back in so they can go with Miss B. We was over there all day. They lay down. When they see the kids, they lay down, and they was sort of just like playful, but very, very gentle. But then when they was out there with me, they was crazy, crazy, crazy. And I picked up, that's great temperament. That's great temperament. This dog is recognizing the weak and toning it down when they're around the weak. Great temperament. I had no worries about him. As he grew older, I had no worries about him attacking anything that he wasn't supposed to attack. As far as, you know, a weaker person, he still had incredible drive and, you know, protection drive and everything else. And I used him as an example to say this, is that if you got bullies in your yard, if you got, I don't give a damn if you got rabbits in your yard, you know, whatever you got in your yard, it should not be attacking friendlies. It should not be attacking. It should not be showing aggression to your family. It should not be showing aggression to you. It should not be showing aggression definitely to children. This is something that has to be an absolute law. If that dog is showing aggression towards friendlies, that dog must go. Now, I'm not talking about a puppy, because sometimes with a puppy gonna test this little thing, and you correct them on it. And as they grow into their stuff. You know, there's levels to this shit. But if we talking about an older dog with capabilities, and this behavior has not elapsed, this behavior has not been corrected through your training attempts, your socialization attempts, this dog is a walking fucking time bomb, and you need to get it gone. And more so, you don't need to hide it off in a cage and continue to breed it and make more dogs just like it and sell them at top dollars to homes where people are going to be a bunch of fucking ticking time bombs that eventually somebody's going to get killed. It doesn't matter about the money. And sometimes it's principle when you're breeding these dogs. If the dog is overly aggressive to the point where it will attack your mother, an older woman, and not just one bite, but literally maul this woman and tear up both of her legs and rip her, you must get rid of that dog and everything that exists with it. If not, you are one of the most despicable breeders and maybe people on the face of the earth, because for the sake of you making a buck, you are willing to risk people's lives, including at this point the life of your mother. And I end that by saying if, because we don't have solid proof that this is what happened. And in many situations, as this gentleman has talked about it, saying that it did not happen, he said if it did happen, he agrees 100% with me. That's why I feel free to say this, no problem. But temperament over everything. Health and temperament over everything. You not only owe it to yourself, you owe it to the breed, but most importantly, you owe it to everybody who has ever entrusted you to bring one of your productions into their home to be around their families. People, don't you understand this? And I'm very, very strict. Some people get mad at me. You taking too long. You taking too long. I'm very strict. One thing you won't find is I don't send people home with a dog that's going to die in 2 days. I have, God bless and thank you, but I don't send home a dog that's going to attack your toddler. I don't send home a dog that's going to attack you, or that's going to attack your mother, or that's going to attack your friends when they come over. I don't send that home. If I see bad characteristics, even in a puppy, it's not leaving. If I see bad characteristics in an adult, I won't breed that shit. And that's whether it's health or whether it's temperament. You people sometimes get these dogs and y'all jump in this thing and you buy a couple nice dogs and you can make a couple nice puppies because you bought a couple nice dogs. Now you think you're a breeder. The one lesson that we can take from this situation, and like I say, once again, I'm not saying I'm blaming the individual, but if this was the fact in this story, and we can always say if this was the fact in this story, we owe not only everybody who's going to be involved, but including the dog. We owe the dogs themselves a lot more respect in this. We owe it to them. Give a fuck how much money you making. A child's life is worth more than anything that you could ever make in this life. Elderly people, your life, you know, it's worth more than this. You don't want them problems. You don't want that on your conscience. I don't want to hear about anything happening like that. So if you have a dog that is vicious, get rid of it. Erase all of that shit from your program. If your whole program turns out that you got too many vicious dogs, fix them all and start all over again. You'd rather take this loss than the loss that you really could take. With that being said, man, that was a little bit deep there for me. But much love to y'all, man. Subscribe. Hit like. They say I don't ever say that. Subscribe. Hit like on the video, man. Help a brother out, man. Until next time, much love. Peace.